within this contest.
Okay. Thank you. Let me just use the mic. Okay. Thank you very much. And also thank you to the organizers of this summit. My name is Hakim Onosanya, and I lead the startups, also called Lagos Innovates team at LSETF. And what we do is, I think you've correctly described it, which is supporting the ecosystem. And for us, the ecosystem is not just the startups. We have the startups, we have the hubs, and glad that CC Hub that has produced a minister is here, so congratulations once again. We also have the educational institutions here, and also, so I think Mr. Dumiwa is wearing two caps, the school and the hubs. And we also have the talents. And what we do is, one, to democratize opportunities to everybody. The last few years, I've seen founders come from the elite parts of Lagos, whether we like it or not. The founders are basically living in the highbrow areas of Yaba, on the island. But then the question is, who says the guy in Alimosho, who says the guy in Mushin cannot be a startup founder? And how we're trying to solve that problem is, one, if that guy decides to have a solution today to solve a problem, does he have the requisite skills to be able to solve that problem? Does he even understand what a startup means? Because we have two kinds of startups in Nigeria. The real startups and the SMEs sprinkled with tech, which we then call the startups, because we believe that they are small enough and they should be called startups. But the question is, how does that young man in Mushin, Alimosho, in Fakoja, in Festac understand that what I'm building is a startup? What do I need to know at the very beginning? How do I structure my startup legally? How do I understand growth and marketing? How do I understand branding as a startup founder? So all of that. And one thing he also needs is access to mentorship. Knowing that there is someone out there that he can speak with, someone he can bounce his ideas with. And those two things we offer with our incubation program. We take them for 8 weeks through all that program for them to learn, so that by the time they're coming out of that program, they understand what it means to run a startup, and the failure rate for startups is reduced. Because now we know that about 90% of startups will fail. But the question is, why should that happen? If we catch them young, we should. The other thing that we then do is expose them to access to infrastructure. So the reason why we had in the first set of founders in Nigeria come from the elite areas is, one, because they were lucky that their parents or their houses had high-speed internet. They were the ones that could buy the fiber networks in their homes. Not everybody could afford that about 10 years ago. If you didn't buy your 1.5 data on your BlackBerry, then that's the best you can have. And even that was almost a luxury at some point. And that can be found in the hubs. Access to internet, access to electricity, and access to a network of like minds. Because building in the corner of your home and building in a hub with other founders with you are two different things. Oh. Because building in a hub exposes you to both upward and downward integration. Your solution can be a plug-in to another person's solution. And before you know, you guys can then collaborate to build something higher. So what we do then is provide what we call workspace vouchers. So with this voucher, you can walk into a hub, any of our partner hubs, and then use it. And then that voucher gives you about 80% discount on the cost. Usually you're only paying 20% of the cost for using that space. And for us, is go in there and keep doing what you do. And finally is also trainings. Because the greatest headache of founders very soon would not be Series A, B, or C. It would be people to build with. It will be the developers to help you build. It will be digital marketers to push your product. It will be the product managers to bridge the market and your startup. And that is where we are also coming in. And we are partnering with training centers to train people in those lines. I think earlier this week we closed the application and about 842 people are getting trained in Java, Linux, cybersecurity, data science, because we need them to catalyze the ecosystem. So what we're doing in a nutshell is to enable the growth of the ecosystem, supporting startups, supporting talent, and supporting access to infrastructure.
Can we give them a round of applause, please? Before I throw the first question, right, I'm sure that if we are told to raise up our hands, how many startups do we have here, or how many persons are doing business in this hall, please? Can we raise up our hands? Okay, how many of us are students? All right, the reason why I had to do that is because looking at what our speakers have said, it has sort of like changed the dynamics of my question. And we really need to read the room so that whatever that we are saying would be relevant. We've all said a whole lot of things. And I think for me, one of the things that stood out in what you just said is inclusion, right? That person who comes from a wealthy background and that person who is just bootstrapping and trying to leverage on funds from their family members, their friends, and maybe just borrow from a colleague. To you, Mr. Victor, in terms of inclusiveness, right, in terms of trying to understand the necessary stakeholders within the business ecosystem, how do you think that we can foster partnership that can ensure that whether I am from a wealthy background or I am not from a wealthy background, whether I have a business, like an educational background that can help me understand how to run a business, or whether I don't, maybe my mom was just a trader like myself and I just picked up trading, I just picked up how to run a business. How can I leverage on the provisions, right, that partnerships provide for me as a business person?
So you are talking in terms of somebody that wants to maybe start up something, so how can he leverage? Yeah. Well, I would say there are several opportunities. And I know that those opportunities are not even excluding people. Yeah, today there are several opportunities. So the first thing is to be on the lookout. You have to join communities. You have to know what is going on, the events going on. Like here now, you can see that some seats are empty. So if you're telling me that you want to, we have an opportunity, you want to belong, and you don't go to where they are discussing, where you can see somebody that will hear your idea and say, this makes sense, and can be willing to work with you, or where you hear that there's going to be an hackathon somewhere, or there's going to be pitching somewhere, where you need to go and pitch your idea, how will you know about it? So, one, people have to kind of join communities, to hear about what is happening, but there are several opportunities I can say. And also, I think before even talking about starting up, trainings are also very important. And I know there are several free trainings and paid trainings. So, free trainings, why are they made free? So that people that don't have the means can actually part of it. Currently, at our own hub, today we started the Python training. We had over 500 people that applied. The venue could only take about 60, 70, got shortlist. But it's free so that those people that cannot afford paid training can come and start learning things about coding. Let them start from somewhere. Before you even talk about having an idea, come and understand what tech means. Tomorrow we are starting another one, and we have about 200. And that one is virtual, and it's cloud computing training. So we have several people applied, shortlist about 200, which is also going to be free. So there's always opportunities. So you can start from there. Go to the social media, check all the hubs, check all the different platforms, communities, join some. You get to hear about opportunities, then you start from there. Then when you go to those hubs, as you listen and mix up with people, you hear more. I remember some people we trained last year, and we also have a co-working space. So during the time of interaction, somebody comes to the co-working, got one of them, a junior engineer, who just trained the person during the ASU strike, and that was gave him a job. So you can't just stay somewhere in your house and expect them to come and meet today. So you need to belong to community. You need to kind of follow some of the hubs that are making waves. Even the ones that are just coming up, try to maybe get information. And that's where you start from and you keep growing. Yep.
All right, thank you very much. So one of the major problems that we have is the issue of trust, right? I have a business idea, and we all have ops that we run. Then, how do you establish trust? I think I would want Mr. Jude to answer that question. How do you establish trust in order to be able to encourage collaboration between ops and then startups who need your help? They need your resources, they need your technology, they need your network. But then, how do you, establish trust in order to encourage them to warm up to the provisions that all these hubs that we find out there? How do we encourage that amongst them?
Okay, thanks for that question.
Sorry, I also want you to put a bit of context into it. How CC Hub does that?
Yes, I would. Thank you for that question. So the first thing that I think is important to put on the ground here is if you are a startup solving a problem leveraging technology, or you're building new technology to solve a critical problem, more often than not, please pay attention to what I'm saying so that you don't quote me wrongly. More often than not, if you're building new technology, it cannot be replicated easily.
How so?
Yeah, it's what's called intellectual property, and there are frameworks to be able to protect IP, right? And maybe I should do a little diversion. One of the things that I'm always advocating, especially with because in our ecosystem in Nigeria, we've done so well, but this is still day one, right? If you compare the Nigerian ecosystem to maybe the Boulder, not even San Francisco, just Boulder in the US, it's rich, right? So we're still at day one in the entire innovation ecosystem, and what makes you stand out as a startup is that you have intellectual property assets, new technology that you've done your research, you've built over the time, in tackling a critical problem within this space. More often than not, that cannot be replicated easily, all right? In instances where you have this kind of solution and this kind of technology, then the legal thing to do, or the immediate thing to do, is to protect your intellectual property, all right? You can file patents if you have patents, you can file trademarks, and I believe your agency in Nigeria is called NOTAP, and the Patents and Designs Registry under the Ministry of Trade. These are not just, so if you have an idea, it's not just that, this idea just came and I'm just going to open it up and go to a hub and start building, which is why I said that. I started with what I said, was you built new technology, you've done research, you've come up with your engineers, now you have a product, an MVP that you're pursuing. Or go ahead and don't wait to have a full product before you now say, let me go and do IP protection, all right? The first time to talk to your lawyers or to IP experts when you're building a product is when you have the first prototype and you've tested that. By the time you're thinking, because filing IP documentation actually also takes time. And it requires expertise that majority of startup founders, even the advanced startups today in Nigeria, don't have, right? So if you're building something, if you're building anything, you already have a prototype, even if it's a low-fi prototype, right? Already start reaching out to people who are IP experts who can help you protect that. In Co-Creation Hub, like I already mentioned earlier, the practice I lead, there's a lot of work that we're doing around research, working with universities. Dr. Victor here has been really very supportive. We're working with University of Lagos as well and some of the students there. And immediately we identify and say, this guy or this team of people or students or researchers, at times even PhD students, are working on something brilliant. We already kickstart that patent protection process for them. Right, because patent support is also, if you talk to any investor, for example, if you have two startups who say, I'm working with farmers to help them increase agricultural productivity, and the other one too also says, I'm working with farmers to help them improve agricultural productivity. If one says, well, we already have patents filed for the solution that we have, and the other one just say, come and look at our app on Google Store, you can be sure that the investor will pay more attention to the guy with the IP, right? Even if in the end, maybe the guy who even has an app on the App Store is already building something that is much better than the guy who already has patents filed. So for startups and student innovators and innovators in the building, the first thing you want to think about is once you are thinking about an idea or you have your team, you're working on a critical problem, you build your low-fi prototype, already have approached IP experts. Well, there's no money, it's going to cost money. Trust me, it's not going to cost as much as you think. Right? You can already start filing, for example, to register trademarks or I don't want to use the word brand names, so I just want the reason. Trademarks, a couple of the beginning process of filing these patents It doesn't cost much. Now, when you're working within a hub, which is, I'm sorry for the time, when you're working within a hub, co-creation of, like I already mentioned, we have patent support with lawyers on ground on a retainer to help some of our innovators do this. But you're working within like an average hub, like I said, you want to think about that. And when you share, you also just don't want to share, how should I put it now? You don't want to share the source of your product in a community, right? Most of the times, which is again, has to go to communication skills. What are you building? What problem are you solving? How have you been able to solve it? How is it better than anything on the market? You and your engineers know exactly what code or what lines of code you're putting together or what new technology that you're advancing. And that's able to help you win that process. But one final thing I need to mention is that shouldn't, like the people who, I'm trying to be careful with the words I choose now. I don't want someone to steal my idea to prevent you from collaborating with other people. You would be doing yourself and your team and the product that you're building a disservice. Because most of the time, innovation thrives in ideas. 4 of us are just sitting down somewhere and working on this and working on, like, have you tried? How exactly have you guys working on solving this particular problem? And bam, a spark comes. And that's how innovation builds up.
Yeah, thank you very much. You're almost diving into how do you come up with innovative ideas. You know, you talk about brainstorming. You're talking about sitting on a table with people and then, just dropping that idea around about. So this brings me to the last question to you. What is the biggest problem or mistakes that you have seen startups do, especially when they seek to enter into partnerships within the period of time that you've had to engage them?
What do you mean by enter into partnerships?
Like, we're talking about collaboration. Now I'm even taking it beyond leveraging the resources that hubs have. So now let me put a bit of context. Like I said, I have a business development agency, and what we do on the business development arm is that we help African tech businesses to leverage on partnerships with other businesses, especially if they want to enter into new markets, or maybe they're seeking to just expand their reach. So now, one of the reasons why we decided to include that into our service is because of many of the mistakes that we have seen startups make, not doing due diligence and all of that. But then aside from not doing due diligence, what are the biggest mistakes that you have seen or that you believe that startups can make if they do not do the necessary thing?
Okay, thank you very much. I think running a startup is basically going into your house when the light is off and trying to ensure that you sit down on your chair without falling down. The more times you enter that room when the light is off, the better it is for you. The first time in that room, you're clearly going to hit your leg on something, or you're even going to fall. So there is no, for first-time founders, the more mistakes you make, it means you're doing something right. It means that you are rapidly iterating. But I'll touch on 2 major mistakes that I think startups make. One is obsession on the product and not obsession on the consumer or the problem to be solved. There are 2 things.
Yeah.
So I want to, now let me give an example, like I used to do it. So there was a community where an NGO went, and then they found out that this community, people there have to walk 10, 15 minutes to the stream to get water, if not more. Then they said, maybe we should put a borehole at the center of the community so that at least it's shorter. They did that and they left. And months after they came back, and the community members had damaged that borehole. And they were on their way back to the stream 15 minutes away. And they were surprised and said, why? And they also discovered that so that community had very small homes. And we had father and mother with like 5 children. So when the parents wanted intimate time for themselves, they would send their kids to go and fetch water at the stream, even if they didn't need it. And then by the time the child goes 20 minutes go, 20 minutes back, they're done. So now you put a borehole 10 minutes away. Nah, you have spoiled things for boys. So the question is, they were obsessed about the solution, not the problem.
Yeah.
So startup founders are always upset about the best app. My app can talk to God from the press of a button. If you are sleeping, my app can wake you up. But the question is, and then you are focused on that app. You're not allowing your developers sleep. It must be perfect. It must be this. No. The person you should be obsessed about is your customer, is the problem. The minute the customer says it's no longer my problem, whatever you built before goes home. Start all over again. And and that is because startup founders always try to peg their stage one with Facebook and Amazon. If you saw the first iteration of Facebook, you understand that it wasn't perfect. It was because the question is, can it help my consumers or customers solve their problem? Can it help them move from point A to point B? What can I do this? As they evolve, your solution evolves. So you don't create a perfect solution for a wrong market. It's almost like saying you build a fintech app and you're going to Rugby and you're saying, this app, if you press this button, the money will show itself. If you press this button, and then you can say like, wow, all our phones are touchlight phones. We only have lights once in 2 weeks. Thank you very much. And you're busy shouting, financial inclusion, my fintech can solve Nigeria's problems. Yes, you're obsessed about your product, not about the solution. Now that's one. Two is, you cannot do it alone and you have to go into partnerships. Especially if you're doing B2B. But there are two things about partnerships. One is understanding the value you bring to the table. It's important because you're not selling yourself. You're basically saying, I have this. You have this. How do we come together to create something bigger? One. The second thing is being empathic with partnerships. It is never about you alone. Nobody's going to come to the table with you if they don't feel that you have their goal in mind. Let me give an example. I would not go to CC Hub to go and sit down there if I don't feel that CC Hub wants me to grow. As long as I can establish that CC Hub has everything they need me to grow, then I'm basically saying, let's sit down at the table, let's discuss. The question is, they might have more to gain from you when you blow, but at least that empathy is there. And two, the startup also into that partnership understands the value I am bringing. Because if you carry if you don't understand the kind of value you are bringing, you most likely will go to the wrong market. If you take a Tesla to Igondo and say you want to sell it, they will price it, and when they are done, they will butcher it. And someone will basically say, Tesla battery here, Tesla door here, because the value is not there. Take that same Tesla to some big boys in the Ikoyi, and they will sit there and say, first have a bottle of wine. What you brought is a good thing. So the two mistakes, again, is one, obsession about the solution, about your product, about your app. It should be obsession about the consumer and about the problem you're trying to solve. Two is going into a partnership. Two things. Understand the value you bring to the table. No matter how small it is something that you have. And two is, do not be selfish. Be empathic and ask yourself, what does the other man stand to gain? And that is why people say politicians are greatest human beings. They know what you want to hear and they tell you what you want to hear. They are empathic. What they want to say, they keep it to their minds. But they are very empathic because they know what you need to hear for us to work together. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very, very much. All right.
Okay.
I actually thought that we were going to. Is it possible for us to have just one question? Do we have someone who has a question for our panelists? Just one. Okay, please help me give it to the lady at the back. While she's being given the mic, I think one thing we can all agree to is that very foundational to going into any partnership is mutual benefit, right? And also you really, really understanding if this product I have, does it have a market that needs it? Before you run up to say you want to scale, you must find out if you have an MVP or you have also a minimum viable segment, people who need your product and who are ready to run after it. Thank you very much.
I want to add, though. Well,
Okay, so
Let's get the question.
let's get a question.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone.
Hi.
My name is Alabi Omolade, and I'm currently the president of Technology Education Students Unilag, Faculty of Education. And I'm so excited to be here with everyone today. And my question is to CC Hub and NIT Hub. So there are so many, just like he said, there are so many talents in Unilag, and in Faculty of Education, I've found out that, through research and through talking with some of my classmates, and I found out that some of them really see that space for just teachers alone. And I come from a background, okay, so I had my NCE at Adeniran Ogunseyan College of Education, and I've taught for 2 years, and I currently work with Schoolinka, and I'm the learning support asset there at Schoolinka. And I had all these opportunities because I had access to communities and network and everything. So my question to CC Hub is, how does CC Hub help these young people see that there is more to education than teaching? And then how does NEET Hub, because I've heard about NEET Hub before, and I've been really, really looking forward to joining NEET Hub, especially this semester as regarding my work. And I know that it's just for tech enthusiasts alone, those are into project management, devs, front developers. Yeah, and I know that there's a little bit of tech in education. I mean, looking at curriculum developers, instructional designers. I mean, we even need tech for project managers in education also. So how does NEET Hub help in bridging this gap? Thank you. And we are really looking forward to collaborating with CC Hub, NEET Hub, and everybody. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much. So let's start with CC Hub.
Yeah, I think that's a perfect question.
I like the smile that I'm seeing from both.
Yeah. First of all, sorry, what's your name? Omolara. Omolade. Okay. Open invitation to come to CC Hub, Montgomery Road, number 8. We have a teacher's lounge. It is dedicated solely to education technology. And it's been running in CC Hub, which is our second building in Yaba, for more than 2 years now. The practice I lead, we actually also have what we call an Education Technology Center of Excellence in Taisholari University of Education. We've been running it for 4 years. And it is largely just focused on how do we work with young students like yourself who are within the education space to understand the role that innovation plays, the role that technology plays with education, and begin to see themselves as problem solvers and innovators within our education sector. As I speak to you now, we're organizing innovation challenges in that EdTech COE, where students like yourself, education students across not just even technology education, biology education, whatever kind of education that you think, to be able to solve problems and prefer solutions using design thinking approaches or even human-centered design. So you said there's a little part of education that requires technology. No, there's a lot of technology in education. And I think that basically just answers your question. But before I leave, I just also wanted to add to Mr. Hakim's point. If you're a startup here, one of the easiest points of collaboration that can really help you build your product, right, are universities. And maybe one of the reasons I was even thinking, I'm even glad I'm able to speak here, is to basically begin to open that perception of, at the core of, like I said earlier when I started, at the core of a startup that is really doing well is proprietary technology, right? And like Mr. Hakim already also said, putting the customer at the center of the solution that you're building. And there's no way you do that without research, without user research, customer research. This is what universities do for free, right? There is no faculty in any university, even if they pretend not to be doing it, that is not doing any one form of research or the other. So if you're working in agriculture, you're trying to build a solution for smallholder farmers using IoT, there's somebody somewhere who's using a PhD on IoT technology for agriculture. And when you begin to work with those people, then you get into the market with a proprietary technology that not just anybody has. Instead of just saying, like, there are 17 startups here, all of them are building a marketplace for farmers, and all of them just have apps. Done. Right? So the easiest and the point of collaboration for startups really is beginning to see how can we do collaborations with universities, departments, faculties on the sector that we're working on to be able to help us build the product or design the solution that we have so that it gives us an edge And you can be sure that intellectual property at that level, it can be protected. You have investors who are now coming and saying, well, if you guys already have IP, you have a professor on your R&D team, you have the solution that works. Let's see how much money we can give you to be able to scale this up. So those 2 points I think are very important, and I'm sure Dr. Victor here would also be able to shed more light on it from NITA's perspective.
So lastly from your hand, sir.
Hello? Okay. Sorry. The guys in the media said I should not use it. So let me use it now since the other one is not working. Okay, so I will pick it from where you stopped. And I like what you said because it's difficult when we preach it to people. When you say you are doing you can start business. That's what a lot of people are doing in Nigeria. They're saying they're doing startup. They are doing businesses. You can do business. But when you say startup, you must have found a gap. That is a problem. And it's out of research. You must have done some research. And even not just the problem alone, your solution must have some element of innovation. That's something you are bringing on board. And that's why you see most of our startups are in fintech. And it's more about automation of stuff and making things easy for people. And because also transaction there, easily every transaction is charged, so you make more money, so it's easier. But you can't see deep tech. Go and check up Nigeria, because deep tech are born out of research. Serious research. At MIT now, they have a kind of, we call it like a hub, where they are trying to solve problems like creating operating system for quantum computers. What you have not seen yet, quantum, that you can't go to market and buy a quantum. They are already thinking of how to create operating system. That is kind of deep tech. And it's one out of research. It's not just waking up or going somewhere, spending 3 months and saying, so that is very important. We need to know that, and we must take education seriously. We must understand the place of education. Now, coming back to your question, you have to be very, very open. The hub is open. Let me just say that. It's open. We have people in education at the hub. The person that did our brand design, whatever, is from education, so we have people in education come to the hub. Now, the problem I see is people not being open. You know, people in Unilag, some of them there, Unilag is one of the, I would say, luckiest school in Nigeria because it's in Lagos, and several opportunities come to Unilag, and the environment is just full of opportunities. But some people are there, and beside them, something is happening, they don't know. Because their mind is off. So be hopeful, remove the bias. Don't say every time you're just complaining, remove the bias. Try to see, we have not only NITHub, we have other hubs on campus. We have the Hero Lab. We have the entrepreneurship. We have the BOI, what do you call it now? Co-working space. So go around your campus. Go and see things happening there. I used to send our programs to you, all the presidents of the faculty. The student, faculty president, your president, to share on their platform. But I know when they share this, some people just do like this, WhatsApp, just do like this. Don't check those content. So you need to open your mind and see opportunities are there everywhere. Now, next week, Wednesday, we have been working with the CC Hub on a Uni Innovator project and with GIC for the past few weeks. Next Wednesday, there's going to be a presentation, a demo day at CC Hub. The flyer is out there, we'll send it out. So if you don't apply to be there and you don't go there, how will you know what is happening? So you need to open up your mind and try to see the opportunities around you. And I think when you come to campus, come and meet us. They will also guide you. Education has tech, and there's several things you can do, and they will guide you. Thank you.
Yes,
Let me just do 30 seconds, please. This is also an open invitation. If you're a startup working in healthcare, agriculture, what Dr. Victor said, 11th of October, there's a demo day featuring students like Omolade there who built innovative stuff in healthcare, agriculture, circular economy, and they're going to be pitching these innovations. It's an open invitation. It's going to be at CC Hub at Montgomery. That's also where the Teachers Lounge is. So I'm sure these are mind-blowing opportunities. I can go on and on. Someone is building an alternative device that can be used for breast cancer care, and it's just doing masters in University of Ibadan. Right? There are students who are building blockchain solutions to be able to map medical records outside of hospitals and pharmacies. And they are students, undergraduates, master's students, postgraduate students. So it's an invitation again for you guys to come around and hopefully that can spark something. Thank you.
Thank you very much. For the sake of our time, like every other session, please feel free to put your questions together and drop it on the social media platforms. You're sure that all of your questions will be answered. Thank you so much, everyone, for having us. And thank you so much. Thank you.
Is that all you can give for this session? Please put your hands together for them. Did you learn anything at all from this session? Did you learn anything? Okay, so while that session was going on, one thing I was just hoping that was running through the minds of a lot of us seated here is some of the mistakes that some of us go out to make. Of course, there's just so much noise about just start something, just go into business and all that. But there are some nitty-gritties, very foundational things that people tend to overlook that gets them burnt along the line or over time. So from this conversation here, I want to believe that you've learned very key things, right? Yeah, very key, important things. Like one of the things, that I heard very clearly was the fact that a lot of people focus that they are obsessed with the products that they are bringing to the market as against the solution itself that is proffering. Did you hear that? Yes. So you need to begin to redirect and pay more attention to researches. Okay, so very quickly, in the next 15 minutes, we'll be having a fireside chat, and we'll have our moderator, Godfrey Elimian, a content writer and analyst, come up to have the conversation around digitization and the future of business. And to speak on this is Yakubu Musa, the National Coordinator, Office for Nigeria Digital Innovation on the NITDA, okay? And the person is not here, but is fully represented, well represented by Mrs. Jumoke Alaka, the Manager, Southwest Zonal Office, NITDA. Let's put our hands together for these people as they come in the next 15 minutes to have the fireside chat on digitization and the future business. Please, let's put our hands together for them. Yes, you are.
If you're putting your hands together, can you do better? If you've been enjoying the conversation so far, can you just wave your hands? Yeah, that's great. This session, we're going to be talking about innovation, digitization, and businesses in Nigeria, particularly. We know that everybody in the world right now is gradually transitioning from the conventional way of doing things to a more digital form, and which is being enabled by digital tools. And so that's why we want to look at what digitization will bring to Nigeria businesses and how it will help businesses in Nigeria transform in the nearest future. Just like she said, my name is Godfrey, and we'll be talking to a representative of NIDA from the Office of the National Nigerian Digital Innovation. I know most of us we've not heard about ONDI, so I'm just going to give a brief of what ONDI is. So the Office of the Nigerian Digital Innovation is a special purpose vehicle of NIDA. Let me just quickly ask, if you know what NIDA is, let me see your hands. Wow. Can you please tell us? Yeah. Yeah, you raised up your hand. Yes, you. You said?
Nigeria Innovation Technology Development Agency.
No.
Okay, that's you got the Nigeria wrong.
Okay, National Innovation
National
Technology
Information
Technology Development Agency.
Agency, yes. Can we put our hands together for him? So the Office of the Nigerian Digital Innovation is a special purpose vehicle of NIDA created to streamline the coordination and support of activities on policy implementation, enforcement of regulatory guidelines, and interventions targeted at the development and growth of the Nigerian technological ecosystem for greater impact on job creation and economic growth. So welcome, Ma.
Thank you very
Welcome.
much.
So just like this, I've mentioned, most persons here do not know about ONDI. I think most of them here, they've barely heard about ONDI, and probably this is the first time of them coming to know about ONDI. So can you quickly touch on the activities of ONDI and how its policies and programs affect businesses in Nigeria?
Okay, good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for attending this program and waiting this long to the end. Okay, so ONDI, as I said, is a special purpose vehicle. So it's like a gateway to streamline and also coordinate every activity that's geared towards creating a digital Nigeria. Okay, so we have a lot of mandates that is geared towards that. One is also by strategic human capacity development, which a lot of startups have enjoyed and they've participated in. We have the iHatch incubation program. Okay, we have the Technology Innovation Entrepreneurship Scheme, which is also geared towards startups. So everything we do, everything ONDI does is targeted towards the growth of startups and also to be able to foster development and also everything any startup thinks about. When you think about IT, you think about ONDI. That's all we do.
All right, thank you. Can you put your hands together for her? All right, talking about startups and businesses in Nigeria, we know that recently, there's this general notion that regulation is quite tight for them. And NITA, for example, or for instance, is the regulations they put out there, startups are struggling with it, and to wriggle themselves out of it and grow from those regulations is quite tough in Nigeria. Let me put it this way. People think that the regulatory framework in Nigeria is quite tough. So I just really want to know, and I think everybody will be interested to know how your office, that's the Office of the Nigeria Digital Innovation, is helping to remove policies that stifle the growth of businesses, small businesses, and startups in Nigeria.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, NITSTA is in talks with the government, of course, with the National Startup Act. Okay, so NITSTA is in place to be able to stand in for the startups. So I'll say we're with the government, but we're special agency to make sure that any obstacles, any policies that's put in place that is not going to favor the startups is being struck out, So at this point, everybody, if you're conversant with the social media and internet, you see a lot of programs that NITDA has rolled out. And a lot of people have enjoyed that as well. The Coursera, iHatch program, the TASE. So everywhere we're going to, it's the conversation that everybody is having right now, because at the moment, things are different. We can't say people haven't enjoyed, everything it has brought. So everything we do is towards fostering, the growth of the startup. So also, as you said, with the policies, we're here to make sure that there's no obstacles in place. We'll make sure the implementation of the policies that have been put in place for the digital Nigeria is going in the right path. And of course, we get results.
All right. If you are clapping, can you clap? I mean, she's saying something about, coming to help startups recognize the need to grow, and that's the need for collaboration, and then with policies that can help them grow. Because trust me, if the ecosystem is not getting policies right, I don't think it will be possible for startups to enjoy the ecosystem and grow, because it is policies that drive growth. Are we getting it? So that's why I'm going to be asking the next question, which borders on collaboration. What's NITA doing to collaborate with startups and businesses? Because yes, it's one thing to provide policies and help them remove policies that stifle growth. It's another thing to actually collaborate with them, get to sit down with them, have a roundtable talk with them, and then see how to collaborate to ensure that the ecosystem is efficient and effective for everyone possible. So I just want to ask, what are the collaborative steps that NITA or the ONDI has put in place to interact and collaborate with startups and businesses in Nigeria to grow?
Okay, so in terms of what you just said, now we have various programs in place for startups. Okay, like if you don't research, if you don't look for it, you won't find it. Okay, so we have a website, nita.gov.ng. Okay, so if you go to our website, you see the various programs and you can key into it. Like I mentioned at the start of the chat, we have the High Hatch program, which is an incubation program for startups, and it's free. Okay, so it runs they have different cohorts. So if you're interested and you want to key into, what NIDA has in stock for the startups, you have to actually be involved in our activities. And there's so much going on with NIDA as well. NIDA is also in collaboration with NITHub, with our Dr. Dumuyiwa here as well, with the students. There's so much NIDA is doing. NIDA was only inaugurated in 2007. And I can say so for myself that we've been different from every other government parastatal, because it is key. Because if we want to be a big player in the world as a country, we have to be digitally inclined. And that's what NIDA is doing.
Can you jam your hands together for her? You just said if you want to be a major player in the world, you have to be digitally inclined. So away from the startup scene and businesses now, I want to talk about local content. We know Nigeria is not short of local content. We have a lot and lots of local content. We have the Big Brother Nigeria. We have so many other local contents that are currently ongoing. So I just really want to know, because one of the objectives of NIDA is actually to promote local content. So I really want to know what NIDA is doing to promote local content in the country.
Okay, the recent one was the LEAP conference, 2023. Okay, we have 2 people that represented the country, that their work was showcased at that event, and they won about $150,000 each, So what we are here for is to promote our country. That's all we have. And so every international event that goes on, GITEX, LEAP, NIDA is well represented. And we can't go alone. We have to go with what Nigeria has come up with, So like I always say, if you want to be seen, you can't be seen in your bedroom. You have to go out there. NIDA is always there to listen. Your innovator, your creator, bring out what you've created and just approach. Only an email away you'll be heard.
All right. So the final question now, before I take questions, I know that one of the challenges small businesses have in Nigeria is the perceived notion that some business, or should I say companies, are given preferential treatment. There is this idea that some companies enjoy a monopoly. I don't want to mention names now, but I know we've heard about companies that enjoy monopoly. They monopolize the business or the industry they play in. So I just want to know how NITA or the Office of the Nigeria Digital Innovation is helping to create that free market for everybody to play in, a level playing field for everybody to come in, showcase their talent, bring their products, and have the markets to themselves?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure that information is true. With the monopoly, it can't be true for NITDA because every course, every project, every cohort is being publicized and is on the website, is on the social media handles, is open to the public because that's the only way we can move forward. So that's the only thing I need to point out. Like I've said before, if you have to come out. You know, people hide under the blanket of, oh, it's government, they've picked who they want to pick, but that's not true. That's not true. A lot of people have enjoyed, you know, courses, free courses, 100% free, like the Coursera one. I don't know if anybody registered and got picked for the Coursera, NITDA Coursera, collaboration with Coursera courses. I don't know if anybody here, a lot of the students have left because a lot of people were, and even on the social media handles, some people came out to say, oh, they got free courses from NITDA and all that. So that's what we were here for. We're fostering a level playing ground for everybody. So there's no monopoly.
Thank you very much. Can you put a round of applause for her? Thank you very much, ma. Please, if you have any question, can you please raise up your hand so that we'll take the questions and we are out of here. Questions for her? Questions concerning the programs of NITDA, how to participate? I can see one hand there. Any other person? Okay, there is another. We're going to take 3 questions and that will be it. Let's take the question from that angle. Please, can somebody give him a mic? All right, be direct with your question.
All right, thank you very much. My name is Emmanuel Amogu. I'm with Tech Rounds, with Tech Build Africa. Yeah, I really want to, first of all, comment that the fact that NITDA has been an outstanding government parastatal, adapting to new emerging technologies and facilitating the growth of startups. However,
sorry, be audible. She's struggling to
hear me.
Okay.
I said my name is Emmanuel. Okay. You can hear me now. My name is Emmanuel Amogu from Tech Build Africa. I'm also the host of Tech Rounds. So there's been discussion around the blockchain policy that just came up. And firstly, I had commended NITDA on being outstanding when it comes to adapting to new trends in technology and emerging techs and supporting digital innovations. Also, the collaborations around the ecosystem has been wonderful. And so the blockchain policy, we've seen a lot of startups in crypto and in the blockchain space. And that policy actually covered for innovations around maybe digital identities and assets and everything. But there is nothing about crypto. Nothing is we've not seen a working framework for crypto. And I'm still waiting for that update. I don't know if you have anything for now to say about a working framework for crypto in Nigeria.
All right, thank you very much. I hope you got the question.
Yes, I got it. He said there's a lot about blockchain, that there's not much for crypto. I won't be able to comment on that directly because I can't comment on what I don't have the full information on. So if there's none, then there's none. Maybe it's still in the works.
I guess you're talking about the blockchain policy.
No, there's blockchain policy.
There's a blockchain policy, but
talking about crypto.
Yeah, the framework for crypto.
Yeah.
Just like you said, you really can't provide a comment on that. But thank you for the question. That's a wonderful question. Some other person was raising up their hands. Okay, let's take the lady there.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Omalade Bisturu, a current ALX learner. I've actually been following the discussion around NITDA. This is the first time I've really been hearing about NITDA.
Please be audible.
Can you hear me?
No, I can't.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. I said I'm Omolade Bistiriu. I'm a current learner at ALX, studying data science. So I said that I've been following your discussion, but to be sincere, this is the first time I'll really be hearing about NITDA, and I'm really impressed with what is going on there. But I want to ask how, students and youths can actually participate or benefit from maybe your free courses. You mentioned Coursera being made
Yes.
available for free and all of that, because I have a number of friends that really love to also benefit from that. So I will be grateful if you can share more light or information on how to participate. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your question. Like I said, if you're interested in learning, you have to do your research. Like there's all the information there for you. Okay, we have the NITDA website, www.nitda.gov.ng. There's always information there for new courses, new programs, and also the Instagram account as well. So when there's something, they just finished the last one, the Coursera one, which was very much publicized. A lot of people tapped into it. Free digital courses for students and also adults, So that's what you need to do. Follow the trend, follow NITDA, and get connected so you can get all the information that will be beneficial to you.
I hope you got that. Let's take the last question, please. 30 seconds. Quickly.
Good day, everyone. Hi, ma. I'm Adesina Samuel from Moringa, and then we work with cybersecurity and the creation of cyber awareness. Actually, recently we wrote to NIDA at the headquarters, that's Abuja, concerning our products and what we offer. And we are here to receive a response from there. And I want to ask, is there any, or let me say, a platform or a room for accepting a new innovation on the cybersecurity in NIDA, being that there is also increase in technology, and there will be a need to also be aware that to be security conscious of what is happening, especially on cyber threat actors and their implementation. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much. Like at the beginning of this chat, he explained what ONDI is. So ONDI is a special purpose vehicle. Okay, so anything that has to do with innovation, creation. So if you've done something and you've sent an email and you've not been replied, I'm here. You can get my number, you can get my email address, and I can send it directly. And if you look at the program, you can see Mr. Yakubu's number is the coordinator for the country for ONDI. Okay, so I'll also give you his email address so you can send it directly to him.
And that's direct access. Can we put our hands together for her? Thank you very much for listening. We hope you've gotten something out of this session. And at the end of the day, don't just sit back. If you want to get in touch with NIDA, you can always go to their website and get their contact, their email address, and just send an information to them, research on them, and get in touch. And then you are good to go. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay. Let me.
Okay, so while they are hello, can you hear me? Good. So while they are please put your hands together once again for them. Thank you. Okay, so very quickly we're going to have a fireside chat. But I want to quickly mention this. Please don't go yet. If you're still here till now, you are the real MVP. That's how we say it, right? Well done. I want to quickly mention that we still have our exhibition and a raffle draw. Okay, so CoinX is giving us a raffle draw to win the opportunity to win $250. So if you stay till the end, you may just be the winner for that raffle draw. Beautiful. Now we're going to have a fireside chat very quickly in the next 15 minutes, and we will be done from here, and we'll go for the exhibition. We have incredible things that you need to see, really. So we'll be calling on Mr. Oyinlola Israel. He's the founder and president of African AI Foundation. And he will be talking on transforming industries of the future through AI and emerging techs. And to moderate this session is Mr. Emmanuel Onka, the head Diplomatic and Tech News, Nigeria Info FM. Let's put our hands together for them. Welcome. As they come up, let's keep putting our hands together for them until they come right up stage. For Mr. Onka as he comes up to moderate. So we're talking about transforming industries of the future through AI and emerging techs. You need to listen to this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody, or do I say good afternoon right now? Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your patience. Thank you for staying here up to now. Just like she said, you're the real MVP. My name is Emmanuel Onka. I'm a tech show host, and we're going to be having conversation about artificial intelligence. It's a topic that really excites me, but before we get into all of that, we've been introduced here, but I would just like you to, again, to introduce yourself and tell the audience what you actually do.
Thank you so much. I don't know if this is working or I should just use this. I'm Oyinlola Israel, founder of African AI Foundation. We believe that AI is going to be another opportunity to level up inequality in the world, economic inequality. And we are at work to ensure that we can give as many people the opportunity to acquire the skills, because AI is definitely going to disrupt a lot of people, right? It's going to disrupt a lot of businesses, a lot of career, right? So what we're doing at the foundation, equipping the people that are interested, because the interest is the very important part, right? So we're giving them the skills that will make them relevant when the AI revolution actually mature.
I think AI revolution is already here.
It's growing. It's not there. It's not mature yet. It is growing. It is
But
growing.
even at this very stage where you say it's growing, one of the key things, or rather one of the things we've seen, is that a lot of persons are scared of artificial intelligence. They are scared of its capabilities. Not just anybody, not just the people at the grassroots, not just people who lack the know-how about how artificial intelligence works, but we're talking about experts, we're talking about big companies, big personalities having the fear of artificial intelligence. And we're not even arrived at artificial general intelligence yet.
Oh, yeah. The way I see, there's something that people say, that if you don't apply knowledge to do your work, you should not be worried about artificial intelligence, right? If your business involves, manual labor, and that AI is coming for that too, it may just be, further, right? But as long as you're in the knowledge economy, a programmer, an accountant, a lawyer, AI is going to disrupt all those areas. Where people are worried about mostly is because this technology is so powerful, right? This technology in the hand of a bad actor could, spell doom, right? Imagine an AGI in the hands of someone that is actually, looking to terrorize a nation state, right? You could create propaganda easily, and it will be believable, right? A generative AI could easily do that. There are some AI technologies called GAN, G-A-N, right? You could create a deep fake video of the president saying something he's not saying. And for most people, they don't really care the facts behind it. Oh, I saw the president saying this. I saw that they will cause serious havoc, right? So the technology being in the hand of wrong people could actually cause some serious problems. And also for the fact that AI is compressing knowledge. I mean, there's so much you can learn as an individual, right? But imagine being exposed to all the body of knowledge available to humanity that we've been working on for the past 200 years. That is incredible. No one has that level of, information, right? But now you have a system, a machine that could easily connect the dots between astronomy and medicine and astrophysics and that is what we're dealing with right now. And, so it is, I wouldn't say, we should be scared. I think we should keep on the research because, that is what will afford us the opportunity to actually, be able to tame it and take control of it, right?
So it's not for us to be scared of it and to turn back our hands on it. It's to just keep exploring, keep trying to understand what it's all about and look at the opportunities rather than the negative side of it.
That is right.
Okay, so a lot of persons here are business inclined and they want to understand how it works, how to integrate artificial intelligence in their businesses. I have an idea of how it should be, but then you are the guest today, so.
Absolutely, yeah. So integrating AI into your business workflow would be sort of like bespoke, right? There wouldn't be a generalized solution, right? That's the way I see it. And that's because every business model is kind of like nuanced. You have a specific, value creation workflow, and the integration opportunity would come in automating the processes that takes long time. I mean, all those things that require a lot of effort to actually, pull off, right? We're working with some companies, and it takes about averagely 2 weeks to get, report out from their data team. Now, we gave them a tool that they could just say, hey, who are the top customers by revenue and region over the past 2 weeks? And the system is going to, you're speaking to it, and it's giving you the results just in a matter of seconds. Like
accurate results.
Accurate result. It is integrated into their,
data pool,
database and all the data sources that they have. Right? That would take their data team 2 weeks. But the real power of AI is really, when you're at war, a split second is the difference between life and death, right? There's something they say about Nokia and BlackBerry and all of those guys. When iPhone came, those guys did not move fast, right? They didn't move fast. If they had moved faster, they may not win, but they would not lose out totally the way they
were phased off.
Exactly. Right. So you need important information. What is the right decision for you to make as a business owner? What is the optimal step for you to take right now based on all the factors surrounding your business, right? So that alone is, because business is war. At the end of the day, you're competing with other people, right? You're competing. So having that business edge is the biggest advantage you can have in business. There are other opportunities in terms of, supply chain optimization, customer support. There's a company in the US, they laid off their entire customer support team and replaced it with AI. And the consequence of that was average time to resolution increased by 1 minute, 15 seconds. But they are saving 88% of costs that would have gone to the entire customer support team.
Now, we understand that automation is good for the company, it's good for the firms, it's good for startups, but then it also has a downside. Like you said, the layoffs. We're having more of layoffs. So what happens? How do we balance that to ensure that what is coming to us as something positive, what should be, what will I say? What should be great to us doesn't also come with a very negative impact, because just like you said, layoffs.
Yeah, that's a good question. That's a really good question. So every technology revolution comes with that problem, right? Every revolution, let me not narrow it down to technology alone. Every revolution comes with that problem. Agricultural revolution happened, and then we had, industrial revolution, right? And then we have IT revolution, right? When the revolution, industrial revolution started, there's a word called Luddite. I'm not sure if I'm getting it right. In France, there's a textile factory there, and what those guys were doing was like, these machines are going to take our jobs. You know what? Let's destroy these machines, right? They started destroying the machines, and it was bad. It was a bad outcome for the companies and for the employees. But at the end of the day, the machines won, and it turned out that the people that were destroying the machines now became manager of those machines.
Wait, when you say the machines won,
Like-
is they physically right or?
No, like at the end of the day, you have a machine producing 3 times output of what a team of 100 is producing,
Oh, okay.
right? So by saying machine one is that, I mean, as a business owner, all these businesses are in business to make profit, right? But at the end of the day, they will create value for their employees as well, So by me saying that, the machines one is that, it's just imperative that the side that has the most value would win. right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So the machines could churn out more textile products. They could do it in less time. They don't get tired. Just oil them, right? They don't have emotional problems. They're not dealing with all these things, right? So, but it turns out that these people that were destroying the machines were wrong, because at the end of the day, the factory produced so much that everybody got a raise. Everybody ended up getting a raise, and the people that were initially manually knitting those textiles were repurposed into other functions. So what I would say is that people should not be worried about the fact that AI is going to take jobs. AI will do that. That is inevitable, right? What should happen is people should upskill. They should acquire new knowledge, new abilities to be productive, to be functional in the new revolution, right? The sense of, so AI is estimated to add up to 15 trillion US dollars to the global economy in the next 10 years. And this is real money, not just fake numbers, right? 15 trillion. The global economy is already currently worth 90 trillion. US alone is taking about 32 of that, right? The entire Nigerian economy is about 350 billion. We got to 400 and something. We came down, due to, what's going on, right? The entire Nigerian economy is 300 billion. Now, there is a tool, a technology, piece of technology that can add up to 15 trillion US dollars to the economy, right? That means in the next 10 years, due to AI contribution alone, we would have more than 115 trillion. That would be the global size of the world economy, right? Do you know the people that will take biggest share of this 15 trillion? It's those folks that are on the bleeding edge. Those folks that are upskilling. Those folks that are learning. This has happened before, by the way. So we are at a time when IT revolution was trying to emerge in the 80s. That's where we are now. That's what 2023 is. IT revolution started in the 70s, after World War II ended, they had all this technology. They didn't know what to do with the technology, right? Intel was like, okay, you know what? Let's start creating all these chips for commercial purposes and retail purposes. And, Intel grew and other companies grew. Guess what? They didn't realize the size of IT, economy. IT contributes 5 trillion today to the world GDP, right? Microsoft, a company makes $120 billion revenue. We don't make that as a country in Nigeria. That's a country. That's a company. Google, Huawei in China, they caught up. They didn't start the revolution. They didn't start the IT revolution, but they caught up, right? They woke up midway, right? talk about a lot of companies in Europe. Those are the guys taking this share. So what will happen at the end of the day is that the companies that will win would be the ones that are bleeding edge. It is rough, but they will get it right.
Okay, so we'll come to another part of AI that I wouldn't say scares me, but I would say it's a lot of concern when it comes to cybersecurity and the cyberspace. Just like you said, generative AI is something else. And if it gets into the wrong hands, it can immediately do a lot because it has access to a lot of data. Now, when it comes to cybersecurity, especially for a country or continent rather, like Africa, where we're not so strong, so to speak, when it comes to cybersecurity, and then we're integrating AI into our systems, giving the opportunity to people who have higher and more innovative technologies who, quote and unquote, be at their mercies. So how do we ensure that we do not integrate problem into our own system, even if we're trying to go upskill and to make use of emerging technologies that we, in Nigeria, in Africa, we're not setting ourselves up for, I would say heartbreak now, but we're not talking relationship. We're not setting ourselves up for issues later on in the future.
Yeah, interesting question. The simple answer for that to that would be that we just need to wake up.
Wake up.
Yeah, as Nigeria. So I'll give you an example. So we have some research interest at the foundation, right? By the way, we'll be looking to partner with NITDA. We have some proposals as well. But we're working with some organizations already that are, worried about generative AI. Generative AI was used to steal over 100 and something million US dollars from a bank in Southeast Asia. I can't recall the name of the bank, right? Just they used the voice of the GM of the bank to say, hey, you know what? This deal, let's quickly close it. Wire this amount to this amount, and then it was crazy. Before they could get to the bottom of it, the money was gone, right? So what we are doing, especially at the foundation, some of our research interests, includes a model. It's like another AI model that can tell you this is fake and this is real.
You're working on that right now?
That's right now, yeah.
Wow, okay.
So at the end of the day, these models are creating images, videos, voices, right, based on some input. We call them latent space in AI terminology. So those will never be as perfect as the original. It may be impossible to an observer, human observer, to tell the difference, right? But we call them auto-encoders, right? An AI that has auto-encoded the data and transformed it into something that can be read or seen can actually tell that this is an authentic data and this is a fake one, right? It is so tough for human observer to tell the difference. It's almost impossible, right? But what we're getting to is, ensuring that we can put all these checks and balances in place. Now, the government would definitely need those kind of models, right? There would be a lot of misinformation happening using, AI, but these kind of tools will be able to, curb that, right? So, and that's the answer to the question that the solution to the problems that AI will cause is more AI that will solve it.
So lastly, what would be your advice to businesses, SMEs, who are seeking to integrate artificial intelligence in their businesses? Because like I said, most of us here, we're all business. We're all about our own business. So what would be your advice to these persons who are seeking to integrate it? What tools, what should they look out for? And which of these tools of AI should they integrate?
Yeah, so because there wouldn't, at an enterprise level, there would never be a general purpose, AI that will work for everybody. I would say you have an option of developing an in-house team or working with, subject matter experts, right? We have a lab. The foundation is non-profit. We've trained about 1,000 people already, in all these skills, right? But we have a lab that can partner with, companies that are looking to integrate AI and help them, scope it, help them face it. Okay, this is phase 1, phase 2 and phase 3, right? The other option would be to develop an in-house team. We've trained a lot of people that could, join your team if you're, looking to doing that as well. It is the biggest competitive edge of the next century, I believe.
All right, thank you so much, everyone, for joining our fireside chat. Because of the timing, we still have an event coming on this evening. So because of the timing, we might not be able to take so much questions, but there's been one person raising his hand there. So let's just take him and then we're off. Just you, sir. If someone can pass him the mic, please. Someone can pass him the mic, please. Oh.
Thank you. My name is Amidu Mohammed. I'm the founder of Plastic Build Creative Solutions Limited. So since the discussion around AI came up, I've been so excited because I run a sustainability conscious startup where we are trying to provide sustainable alternatives to every product, one product at a time. So currently now on our team, Plastic Build, we are building an online marketplace that will be solely dedicated for sustainable products, just the way you have Jumia. But this time around, you only have products that meet a minimum amount of carbon footprint. So if you have that bottled water there, before it gets on that platform, we'd have to calculate how much carbon footprint does it release. Is it 5% or 10% minimum before it can come there? Because the idea is to promote sustainable consumerism, just like we have about 60% of the entire consumer base in America actually, they think about the environment before taking it. In Nigeria, the number is just around 14%. So the idea is to grow that number to 50% by 2028. So what we are doing is we are trying to develop an AI model that can, maybe scan a product or do an analysis of a product and calculate its carbon footprint before it can be admitted on that platform, like an online platform. So would really want to, collaborate with the AI Foundation to bring this to life because this will help us reduce tons of carbon CO2 emissions and help us move towards a greener planet.
I mean, that's a worthy cause. We are happy to collaborate.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you so much to everyone for joining our session. I hope that everyone has been able to learn one or two things from this very session and you better understand that artificial intelligence is here for us. Just like he said, the solution to the challenges that artificial intelligence brings for us is more artificial intelligence. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much.
Please, let's put our hands together for them. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, so very quickly, we're in a bit, we're going to move upstairs for the exhibition. But before that, we would need to have Francisca Nwafor come up for 1 minute to do her message, just a brief message that she has for us. And afterwards, we'll have Mr. Tony Aja come up for his closing remarks, and then we move straight for the exhibition. Let's put our hands together for Lady Francisca.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm here once again. But this time around, I came with more greater news and an opportunity for everyone to partake. So I'm the founder of CoinRateCap. What we do in CoinRateCap is basically we try to transform the industry and protect the DeFi users, in the space, in the cryptocurrency space. So what we do is coin listing, wallet scanning, scanning of a particular coin whereby a user wants to maybe invest in a cryptocurrency and you want to do a sort of a honeypot scan. You want to know the data that it can give you, so you can use our honeypot scan. So we have a lot of analytic tools for scanning projects before investment. So what I brought for you here today is a product that we are launching. Two products that we are launching is token mining. I know some of us must have heard about cryptocurrency mining and all of that. And UNFT. In case you have heard of NFT, this time we are coming up with something called UNFT, meaning utility NFT. I'm one of the people that really hates NFT. Sorry to say that. Why I hate NFT is because a lot of NFTs out there has no utility, because you can't just expect me to have a in case you don't know the meaning of NFT, it means non-fungible token. The Bitcoin you hear is a fungible token. Why NFT is a non-fungible token, more of like a JPEG, a picture. Anything can be an NFT. Even a text you put up can be an NFT once it's encrypted in blockchain. So we came up with what we call utility NFT, whereby when you are holding this NFT, you are earning something from it. You are not going to own an NFT and you are not, there's no value in that NFT, or maybe if the one that has utility, all of a sudden, it can just vanish and it becomes obviously useless. So we came up with utility NFT. For the token mining, our innovative mining app allows users to mine token effortlessly. Now, this token mining is what we are going to launch next year. But for this utility NFT is what we are going to launch very soon. We currently have our wait list for those that are interested. So what are the benefits of our utility NFT and the token mining when we launch it? Okay, now, when we launch our token mining next year, as you mine, you are going to earn from the token. You are going to earn tokens when you mine daily, okay? Then we are going to have something called withdrawal fee. Yes, a little money that you get to pay. Let's say, for instance, you've been mining and you want to withdraw like $1,000, and you have to pay like $5 to withdraw. That's the fee you get to pay. So what happens is that in the utility NFT, we are going to have 5,000 NFTs. That's why we have wait list currently. Because once we exceed that 5,000, we are going to close it. So the NFT holders are going to call executives. So when you buy the NFT for instance, $20, you are going to you become automatically you are an executive, and you are going to have something that will be used to identify you as that's the NFT that is going to identify as the executive. So when you are holding the NFT, the benefits of holding that NFT is that we are going to gain an exclusive IDO called Initial DEX Offering. We are going to partner with some exchanges, both centralized exchange and the IDO. After our IDO, of course, we are going to move to the centralized exchanges. So that's number one. Then secondly, another one, which is the greater benefit, is 30% withdrawal mining fee. So let's say, for instance, the people who are mining on the app that pay $5 for withdrawal, you are going to earn 30% for anyone who withdraw their money. That's 30% goes to you. Then whatever that is left goes to the reserve, of course, for the maintenance of the cryptocurrency app. So that's basically what we are doing. Two things. And we have, can you turn the slide, please? Okay, now, for those that want to join the wait list, please, you can scan this QR code to join the wait list. Like I said, once it gets to 5,000, that ends it. We are not going to accept more executives because we've made our calculation. 30% has to go to the executives. And you'll keep on earning because the mining app has come to stay. So you keep on earning. You are going to gain a whole lot of benefits. We are going to prioritize those who own the NFT. A lot of things are coming. This I just explained are just a few of it. A lot more products are coming, and those who partake in the NFT waitlist and buy the products will definitely going to gain the entire benefit. So it's either you visit the link or you just go straight to the QR code. You can join us all over our social media. On Twitter, it's CoinRateCap. Just search CoinRateCap. We are going to see us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Looking at the time, it's few minutes to 4. Most sincerely apologize for keeping you much later than we promised. I want to say a big thank you to everyone who has stayed up to this time from the beginning to the end of this meeting. And again, to my team who has in no small measure incubated and vetted this summit for this year. A big hand of applause to my team. And to all our sponsors, partners, media partners, and those watching us on YouTube and Twitter, we love you. And like we say, we'll keep engaging in the conversation, connections, collaborations, and growing the community that will be addressing several sectors or critical sectors in the economy and as the needs arise. Thank you so much. And everything that has a beginning has an end. This is the end of NIS 2023. This evening, we really need to close because we have the 2023 Nigerian Innovation Award night. It's strictly by invitation. Please, if you don't have an invite, don't bother to come. You'll be bounced out. Let's stand as we recite the last stanza of National Anthem. Rivella, you have a mic? You have a mic? Please come. All right, let's go.
God of creation, direct and noble cause, guide our leaders right, help our youth the truth to know.
Thank you very much, and God bless you. The PwC Experience Center, they have VR game. You can go there and have an experience. There are other booths and other experiences that is going on. CoinRate said they are doing a rifle draw for $250 rifle gift. I don't want to say much. Have opportunity to connect with people. God bless you and thank you.